Hi, my name's Lisa Stein, and I am the author of Syd Chaplin, a Biography. And I'm introducing Syd to you today from Zanesville, Ohio, USA. First of all, Syd was 4 years older than Charlie, born in 1885, and was Charlie's half-brother, but really the only family member that stuck with him throughout his life, besides his mother, of course. Sidney was very important to Charlie's career because he often talked to him about different strategies to use in films, things he liked or didn't like. He was really the only one that was able to express his feelings to Charlie honestly without any little feedback, let's say that. Sidney, however, always wanted his own career, and unlike Charlie, he was a different sort of a performer in that he was basically a music hall artist, an acrobat, and he knew a lot of little minute gags that he would throw into films, often way too many gags. That kind of differentiated him from Charlie right off the top. If you've ever seen a Charlie Chaplin film, you will notice right away the big difference between the two brothers. First of all, they don't look much alike. Sidney came to the United States to do the Keystone contract that the two films you're seeing today is part of. So from there, he decided to go to Charlie's Mutual Studios and help him with training stars in terms of gags and also dealing with his finances and things like that. He did that for a couple years until he got his own contract with Paramount to do 5 films. He only ended up doing 1 because he decided to go to Europe and found that during and after World War I, there was literally no real facility for filmmaking for quite some time. So he came back here and ended up filming most of it in the studio. It was delayed more than a year because it was so long and unwieldy. That film is King, Queen, Joker. Still is not in any sort of good form today. It was released to the box offices and tanked immediately. He then waited his time, went back to the Chaplin Studios and performed in films such as A Dog's Life and The Pilgrim, alongside his brother, and then was able to get a few character parts in other films. He did so well working for different studios in this time that he was offered another 5-film contract, this time with Warner Brothers, and that was really precipitated first, though, by his huge hit, Charlie's Aunt. He got the 5-film contract with Warner's, and several of those films were really quite successful. But as Sidney was wont to do, he burned his bridges with that company as well, assaulting and messing with young actresses, and always his monetary dealings were under the table. He was totally unscrupulous in every respect. So by end of 25, he's looking for a new contract. The only thing his agent could find him was with John Maxwell in London. But before that film could be made, he ended up in a scandal with a young actress and took off with his £60,000 advance, which really ended his film career at that point. He never returned to films himself after 1928. So what you're seeing today are 2 examples of Keystone films. The first is in the Mr. and Mrs. Gussell format. That was his character for Keystone. Many people say it's his version of Chaplin's Little Tramp, but it's not that at all, if you take a look. But what you should look for, really, is Minnie Chaplin. Minnie Chaplin has her biggest role on screen in this film. She's a customer in the department store, and you can't miss her. Then the very next film was actually going to be A Submarine Pirate, but it kept getting delayed. It started in November of 1915, mid-November, and wasn't released then until December 26th. And this had to do with the fact that it required some permissions from the Department of the Navy. It became a recruiting and training film for the submarine, and it was really the first glimpse the American public would have of the interior and the workings of a submarine vehicle. Very important around the time of the Lusitania bombing and sinking. This film became quite famous. It's a feature length. It was, in fact, 4 reels, so there is a scene or 2 missing. And, in fact, A Submarine Pirate was his last ever Keystone film. Sidney is a far different performer than Charlie in every way. However, he has his own merits, and I hope you will enjoy the antics of Charlie's older half-brother, Syd Chaplin, in these films. Enjoy, and best wishes from the States.